Hello, patchworkers. Good to not see you. Lovely to see you, Christian, and you, Dion. Dion, how are you going?
I'm good. Josh, you say hello in the same way each time. It's hello.
And there's a hair. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Dion,
Christian,
are you trying to take attention away from the way that you say company? Company.
No, I don't think I can do that because I say it literally every single episode. I have to, and I can't not say it now because it's what everyone's used to. It's the staple. It's like rice. Everyone's used to it.
It's like rice and quinoa.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently,
quinoa's not a staple.
No, apparently in quinoa, it's a staple in Bolivia, and since it blew up with hipsters, like local Bolivians have trouble getting quinoa. Aren't we awful?
Really? Do you reckon you could spell quinoa without issue?
Quinoa is how I remember it.
Yeah.
Quinoa.
Yeah, you can win a trifecta or a quinella.
That's the way. Also, it's a lot of people spell definitely wrong, and I think I've said it before. It's about how Kiwi say it. It's the way you spell it. Definitely.
We will be getting going. This is clearly not the show. We will be getting going very, very soon. And the content will be so much better. But thank you to everyone on YouTube who has answered our initial question, which was age, sex, and location. That's very good. Thank you, Peter. That's really, really lovely of you to answer properly to that question.
But
I don't know why I always thought it was age, sex, and the language.
Yeah,
that wouldn't make much sense though. What are they responding in? The acronym wouldn't make sense to them.
Yeah. It's true. It's great.
What a fool. Hey.
Anyway, we do love it when you guys send us stuff into the show. And we actually had someone send in a picture in preparation for tonight who was very excited for some more chat. I want to bring that up. And what was it, Christian?
They were referencing our discussion last week, mainly my issue with socks and how they have to be matched up. I still don't believe that socks should be forced to be in pairs, but as you can see there, every sock has a hanger.
That's a lot of work.
A peg. I don't understand.
It's inside.
Every sock with a peg.
It's inside. Why the hell? What is the purpose of those pegs? Unless the person loves an imprint. They love that peg imprint on their socks. Makes zero sense.
Or it's about, because I can see from that picture that the socks are clipped right at the toe as opposed to hung over in the middle. Maybe there's something in that.
Right. So they want it to drain more rather than be balanced. I think they've missed a trick though, that they've matched up the socks but haven't matched up the pegs to the socks. If you're going to tear your socks off, put 2 white pegs with the blue socks, 2 red pegs with the black socks.
I'm very protective of the pegs that I have because they're premium plastic pegs. They're very, very good pegs. So they don't get left
premium plastic.
They don't get left outside. They get brought in each time. They don't break.
Pegs inside.
Yeah, they do. They don't break. They don't get brittle. They're amazing. They'll last for ages. Pegs are a shocking waste. They're terrible.
But why do you bring them inside? Are you scared that they'll be left outside in their natural environment?
No, because
bad cold. The pegs are getting cold. Bring them in. The pegs whining on the line. Anyway, probably enough chit chat. I think if you guys are set, we've got some people in watching live. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And let's start the show.
Do you feel guilty about taking a mint from a reception desk lolly bowl? If questions like this have crossed your mind, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at some of the daily habits and social conventions that make up the monotony of life. Let's introduce condensation into a salt grinder by grinding it over a pot of boiling water. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for 3 old friends to sit around and something. So join me, Dion, in my bedroom with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Now, before we get started, a couple of days ago, I decided to have a Zoom lunch with a friend. And I was actually running a little bit late for this Zoom lunch. So I ran downstairs to get my lunch together. And I looked in the fridge, and at the back of my shelf, I had some food that had been in the fridge for about 5 days. Now, because of the time constraints that I had, I threw it in the microwave, zapped it to all hell, and then consumed. But the whole time thinking that I have sacrificed my well-being to make this Zoom call on time. Because at 5 days, that's too long for leftovers, right?
Wait, but you also double sacrificed it by it sounds like you didn't heat it up to the right amount either, right?
Oh, no. Like, that's the one thing. If you've got leftovers and they've been left over for more than 3 days, I say you need to zap that for at least 4 minutes at the highest pressure.
What
highest
sort of
power.
microwave have you got? Get a new microwave and
makes no
end
difference.
the show.
So it was your classic zap, zoom, consume.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I don't think the age of the leftovers necessarily determines that you need to heat it for longer. I no matter how old it is, it's not going to kill. It's not like boiling something.
What
is it?
What
Is
about
it?
if you're boiling it? What about if you end? Oh no, we're getting into scientific territory.
Okay. So, yes, a lot of people know that we discuss scientific things on this podcast, but we are more the laymen. You know, we're the Eastern medicine of podcasts. We have a deeply spiritual element that isn't backed by science.
If someone
Christian,
says, does it work? You just shrug your shoulders.
Christian, I'm really interested in. So what about how you store it in the fridge? So are you a bowl and Glad wrap kind of guy? Are you a Tupperware kind of guy? Do you keep it on the same plate or in the same bowl? Plate or bowl? What do you do? What's the transfer? And then when you heat it up, do you take it out of it and put it in something? Very interested in your thoughts on this, Christian.
I think it's simple for me. Everything, all leftovers must be put into a Tupperware container at the end of when you're putting them away, right? Because that's what's going to be zapped, the Tupperware. I don't want to wrap them
away. Hang on, when you're putting them away, are you putting them in the fridge still warm?
Oh, absolutely.
Or are you leaving out to cool down?
You've got to leave them to cool out, Josh.
I don't. I sometimes get impatient.
What?
That's
so dumb.
But does that matter?
You think it does because it's a fridge, and the whole purpose of a fridge is to cool shit down, and you're trying to heat it up.
So you're worried that it's going to heat up other things. The milk's going to be boiling because of my medium hot pasta sauce.
No. But if you're thinking of the longevity of the fridge, it's probably not good to toy with it like that. To toy with the temperature,
just to tease it. Come on, let's cool it down. It's hot in here, isn't it?
A fridge likes to be teased with toys. Got it.
I will never wrap in Glad wrap. I'll never wrap in alfoil. It has to be in a storage tub of some description.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Sorry. What? Alfoil? Alfoil? Is that cartoon foil from the 90s? Alfoil? What did you call it that for? Why did you call it?
That's normal. I say aluminum.
That's ridiculous. Is that a brand?
Aluminium foil. That's not this. No, sorry. This is not a point of conjecture, Dion. We're not stopping the podcast to discuss alfoil.
So, in terms of the storage, generally I will normally go the Tupperware, but I'm definitely not against. I think a salad is the biggest one that I will happily Glad wrap over the top. It's sometimes in the big bowl still. You haven't got through much of it. Let's just Glad wrap over the top of that and put it back in.
Because it's completely fine having the salad from that same bowl the next day.
Yes.
In fact, that's one of the best things in life is eating a small salad out of a very large bowl.
How big's your fork?
Yeah.
Very tiny fork, big bowl, little bit of salad.
Josh, I want to know. So last time I was at your house, there was an enormous bucket of Tupperware containers. It's absolutely huge. I don't know. It looks like you work in like a 40-story high-rise office where everyone just piles everything in. Do you have a favorite piece of Tupperware?
I have favored. I don't have a favorite, but I have favored ones. We're going to get into this now. Clear plastic, those blue clip-up handles on the side. I don't like an all-the-way press around. I want a latching system. Yeah. The quad latch on all sides is a bit too much for me. Just give me a dual latch, both sides.
No. Quad latch, Josh. Quad latch with button on top that releases.
Oh, the steam button.
I hate the button on top. No, that's useless. That's terrible because when you try and pack your lunch with one of the buttons on top, you put it into your bag. You can't trust that doesn't pop up. It's shocking. The button? Yeah, the button's always popping up.
Spend a bit of money on your Tupperware, Dion. You can trust it.
Are you doing plastic or glass?
Always
or grass?
Going green, even with Tupperware.
But
actually, don't you wrap it in bamboo and like papyrus and stuff? That's a thing, right?
Yeah.
That's
fresh.
true. Yeah.
Cheesecloth.
Yeah. Actually, my housemate Georgia has beeswax. Like instead of Glad wrap, you're meant to use beeswax ones.
Josh, it's none of your.
I bet the bees wouldn't have envisaged that's what would happen to their livelihood, would it?
I work hard for the Queen all year. All I'm making is this bloody beeswax Glad wrap for these bloody humans.
But doesn't their honey last forever? But honestly, how long will you keep food in the fridge and still consider it safe to eat?
I mean,
I like to think I do the sniff test, but I have no idea what it should smell like.
The sniff test? What are you sniffing for? It's just that's a bit off, right? That's not right.
I'm very rare. I will rarely throw out a leftover. I feel like I'll normally get to it before, ground zero, and I'll generally just have it and be like, just finish it off.
Yeah. One thing, Dion, that Josh does, which I have found amazing since moving in with him, is that he will reheat food once, and then if there's leftovers post-reheat, put it back in the fridge for a second reheat.
Wait. Why is your first estimate as to how much you want to eat so poor?
I don't know what you're referring to here, Christian. I can't think of the last thing that I did that with.
Okay. Let's say that it's a principal thing, and maybe it hasn't happened before. It definitely has. But would you reheat something twice?
Yeah. I think in that case, if the reheating was my fault, I feel compelled to cool it down outside of fridge. I'm like, man, you stuffed this. You got to let it cool down. That's too hot to go straight back in. But I feel like generally with my leftovers, I'm pretty good with them. But I will really think about that. Like if I'm having the dinner, sometimes I will stop myself short to be like, you've probably got about two leftovers worth there rather than eating that little bit more. And I think when it comes to reviewing the leftovers as well, I'll very early in the piece, the first time I'm getting it out, the leftover, I'm assessing how many more meals is this, and I'm going to portion it out appropriately. Say you got a lasagna or something. Yeah. I'm cutting that mentally to be like, there's a good 4 slices in there.
Oh, so you're pre-cutting.
I'm not pre-cutting.
In your mind?
Yeah, in my mind. Yeah, my mind's eye is pre-cutting.
I think to wrap this up in beeswax or alpha male foil or whatever you called it there, I think we all agree that that the quad lock system on Tupperware is particularly, I guess it's the most secure. We feel the most secure with it.
It's too onerous.
Yeah, Christian, your little holes in the middle of the containers can go out the door. No way.
What would you rather store them in, Xeon?
Glass locked.
Locked.
With
locked.
Glass
under lock and key.
You know why I said glass locked? Because Glass Lock is my favorite Tupperware container brand.
And now it's time for wow of the week.
Oh wow.
Koreans all share the same birthday, January 1st.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And tonight, it's a double oh, wow. The big Waleed Ali. And now it's time for oh, wow of the week again. Horses all share the same birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I really can't stop thinking of Korean horses now. So lately, So I've been lately I've been trying to get my back sort of fixed up. I've had back problems for a really, really long time, and I've sort of just decided to go to the gym. You've heard that I'm now going to the gym. I'm ashamed of the fact that I hated gym so much, and now I'm going to gyms. But I need to go to the physio, and I go to the physio about every month. And I go to the physio, and at the end, I go up to the desk, and they ask whether I've got health insurance. I give them my health insurance card, and sitting atop the desk is a little bowl of lollies. It's a little bowl of Mentos, and I always feel, you could say, sheepish, guilty, shameful. When I go in and I take one of the lollies. So what I try and do is I really try and time my run. I'm really trying to get in there so I don't feel like an idiot. But really, every time I want to take a fucking handful of them. I just want to take a huge amount. So I was wondering, do you guys take lollies from bowls at reception desks?
Before I get stuck into my answer, Dion, I would love to see you approaching the bowl, knowing that there's the reception desk there and the person at the reception desk sitting behind there. I'd love to see you approaching the bowl. Can you just do a quick little
For people, look, we're streaming these on YouTube, 8 p.m. every Thursday. For those of you lucky enough to see this, it's just I kind of like, it's a little bit of a grimace, and I'm kind of hesitant a little bit, and just grab it out of the bowl. And you have to make sure you don't make too much noise either, because ultimately you think, are they for kids? What are they for?
No.
Why do people at physios tend to have like bad breath because they're only the spearmint ones as well?
I don't understand why you're grabbing for the lollies ever.
No,
why?
It's not. No, you're using the wrong term. That, Dion, is not a lolly.
Mm.
That is a mint to refreshen your breath, and I think you are fully entitled to take a mint to freshen your breath. Lolly, on the other hand, I don't need a lolly at a reception desk. I'm not interested in a lolly. I'm not interested in a lollipop, a jube or something. Just mints or nothing.
The quality is going to... Okay, so I'm baffled that either of you consider taking a lolly or a mint from that bowl. The nature of the bowl is that it's exposed to air. Every single thing in that bowl is stale.
No, but the key is, if you're ever using these, all I'm interested in is individually wrapped. Yeah. That is all I'm interested in.
Christian,
an open plan bowl. I'm not interested in that.
Christian, you know what you're wanting? You're wanting the lollies in a Tupperware container. That's exactly what you're wanting. You're wanting fresh as hell. I was just reading.
Do you have the key to this?
I was just reading on our YouTube chat that Lana says you've paid for it. Take it. They've included that as part of the overhead, so therefore it's yours. And then she says at the end, 2 max. 2 max.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
1
max.
max.
You can take. Nah, it's got to be 2 max. They can fill it up. It's cheap as hell. They can fill it up. And my breath stinks as well.
Sorry, go Christian.
I don't understand the draw in taking it. Like, what is it that at the end of this appointment you go, yeah, a lolly would be good right now? Like, it's not going to be a good quality lolly. You're going to eat it and dislike yourself afterwards.
I feel like the lollies are no good. They're always inferior quality. There's no label. There's no branding on them. They're just wrapped in clear plastic. But it's always the Mentos mint. I'm a big fan of this individually wrapped Mentos mint. And I used to have that at one of the old workplaces I worked at. And literally every single time I went into that building, I grabbed a Mentos and I would put it in my bag if I didn't consume it straight away.
Was it Mentos HQ? Surely.
Isn't it amazing that when you look into a bowl and it's just clear wrapped lollies, it just comes down to color, doesn't it? It's like if they've got the color that I like, maybe I'll consider it.
What are you
But
going
it's
for?
just a sea. It's just a sea of yellows and greens, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the reds and the oranges are gone. They're long gone.
Can I just bring us back to
always
Mentos?
orange.
Please, can I bring us back to Mentos HQ? What have they got? What have they got on their reception desk? Is it another? They have to have Mentos. That would be so disappointing.
It's a giant half Mentos bowl.
Yeah, and you're like, hi, I'm here for the interview for head Mentos, and they say, okay, great, grab a seat, and they're watching you like a hawk to see if you take the Mentos out of the bowl.
I
if
reckon
you take Mentos out of the bowl, you're out.
That's where you'd have to.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
And you'd have to make a point of it.
But they've got all 4 different, like the different colors, all the different ones, and they're expecting you to pick and grab which one you want. It's not all jumbled in together.
And when it's an employee's birthday at Mentos HQ, they bring out a big Mentos and they cut slices of it for you.
But I think the big thing for me in terms of, I think this is very important, how many you're entitled to take. I think if it's a customer relationship, that kind of thing, you should only ever take one. But what about if we're talking about a free sample and you're maybe at the train station, they're giving away free samples of something, you're at the supermarket giving away free samples. How many are you entitled to take then? Say they're giving away Big M chocolate milks or something.
I think a free sample always comes with the condition, doesn't it, Josh? That they're going to give you their little sales spiel. And for me, it's not worth it for that little sales spiel.
Not always. See, what you got to do, you got to find the young 21-year-old who doesn't give a shit and is like, I'm here until these 25 boxes are empty. Go for your life.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think that but people are so greedy with that stuff. Like, you're literally getting something for free. Can I have 2 of the free things that I come across every 6 months in my life? You always get samples every 6 months, don't you?
But it's like going to one of the cosmetics floors in a big retail outlet. Those samplers, are they samples only for spritzing on the paper, or can you spritz them on your neck like a top up?
How would you be able to?
I saw a video on Reddit of literally a guy going nuts in a department store, just spraying himself with perfume, ready for a night out. And he's like, then he was gone.
But why wouldn't you do that before every single night out, before every day at work? I'm just going to swing past Maya, pick up one of my or try a different perfume every day.
Convenience, Christian. I think that would be the main reason why having to go. Sorry, I'm going to be late. I just have to go into the city. Just give us 45 minutes. Just a quick detour.
One thing I was thinking, just thinking back to the samples and the giving away them on the street, I feel like there's always that one sheepish businessman who, when he first goes to get it, he just gets one, and then he goes 4 or 5 steps, and he goes, I got to make the most of this. And he comes back and asks for like 2 or 3 more, and just load me up. Just load me up.
Yeah, so you reckon, Josh, you have to ask? You have to ask for a mint, or can you just take?
Off a reception desk, you could just take. Absolutely, just take.
What, Christian,
Really?
you're asking? Oh, come on, mate. You're not asking.
Always
That's ridiculous.
have to ask.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I know that I understand that it's presumed that you can take it, but you still need to ask.
Nah, I don't reckon you do. I think that's just overkill. As usual, Christian, just bloody overkill. I think that what you need to be doing is the other thing is that receptions, they cannot fill up bowls with very good, I don't know why I'm talking this pattern of speech, with very good lollies, because they'll just go like that. I reckon that's the reason why they're putting the generic lollies in there. It's not because they're cheap. It's because they want to see them last. It's got to be.
So it's an empty gesture, you're saying, Dion?
I think so. I don't know. Like, I'd love to see, is it the same person in each office, the same type of person that's suggesting the bowl of lollies?
One thing that Yeah, it is. It's the fun person in the office.
What's the conversation? It's the same thing, right? Every time it's like, hey, so the office is looking great, but we've got a bowl and we've got a packet of lollies. Do you think we could put them together?
I reckon it's so I know there's a lot of flies from the plant that I put in here, so I'm going to get rid of the plant. What do we replace that gap with?
What do you guys do in terms of, we're talking about cheap lollies? What kind of lollies are we talking where you're like, this is premium? Are we talking like individually wrapped? Oh, imagine if you got like some chockies, like a box of Celebrations or something like that.
A box of it's a big bowl of boxes of Celebrations. Just want to take a box of Celebrations, please?
1 box per appointment, guys. Don't be greedy.
Box of Celebrations is great, but very good gummy bears are excellent. They are excellent. They're premium. You know they're premium, and you know imposter gummy bears when you see them, don't you? Very, very obvious. Very obvious on the tongue, on the palate.
Yeah, and in the hand too, Dion. Absolutely. Yeah. For me, it's a touch. It's the sensitivity. You want the bounce back. You want to feel that if you press it, that bear is squishing under. I don't want resistance to the squish.
Once again, I think we've come up with another cafe name: Tongue, Hand, and Palate.
All right, now it's time for a bit of a sound check, guys. We're going to do a bit of a sound check for you all. This week's sound check theme is 90s Australian swimmers. So, Christian, if you want to give us the first sound check.
Susie O'Neill has broad appeal. Susie O'Neill has broad appeal. Did you get that, Dion?
Yeah, I can hear that. Yep. All right. I guess I better do a sound check as well on mine. Okay. Kieran Perkins loves his gherkins. Kieran Perkins loves his gherkins. And Josh, did you hear that okay?
Yeah, sounded nice and loud and clear, mate. I better
Great.
test mine though as well.
Yeah.
Grant Hackett moved to a new tax bracket. Grant Hackett moved to a new tax bracket. All right. Now, a couple of years ago, the Collingwood Football Club, well, I don't know how long ago it was, they won a grand final. Anyway, a few of my mates I knew went on this massive bender, right? And it was like a 2-day thing where they drank all day at the footy, they drank all night overnight, they kept going the next day into the next night. And I was thinking, I've never done a bender on that degree. And then I thought, is your team winning the grand final, is that a good enough reason to have a massive bender? Like, surely there's better, more important, impactful moments in your life than your football team, which you have no connection with other than you cheer for them, winning the grand final.
I completely get what you're saying. I completely disagree with what you're saying. There is no better bender than a football team winning a grand final. But I guess it also depends on how regularly the event happens, right? I think that's a really core part of it. Like, if you're getting married and if you're going on a bucks or something, that makes sense because you're probably only doing that 3 or 4 times in your life. Christian, what do you think is a good excuse for a bender, and have you been on one?
I just don't understand. Anytime anyone says bender as a concept, I just don't understand the appeal of drinking consecutive days. So drinking an entire day because something great happened, and then drinking the following day because you still can remember it. Is it just a case of the fact that, I remember something good happened, I guess I'll keep drinking?
I remembered something
good
happened.
Is that what it is, Josh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Josh,
that's
can
what
you
it is, mate.
explain? Josh, can you explain the concept of a late night for those of us who don't experience it that often? Like, what constitutes a bender? It goes for all night, right? It's just, or is it multiple? Does it go over the 24-hour period?
I think the bender has to continue overnight, and there has to be continued drinking into the daylight of the next day. I think that determines a bender. Do you think you're allowed to sleep on a bender?
I think so. It could be a nap. I reckon a minimum, like a max of half an hour nap. You can,
little disco nap.
No,
Yeah.
I reckon you can pass out on a bender, but there's no sleeping.
Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
can pass out, get a dick drawn on your face.
Yeah,
But you can't go to sleep and get a dick drawn on your face.
but I agree with you, Josh. Like, I know that you're not a big sports fan with regards to football. So what is it, something in your life that would qualify for a bender?
Sorry,
or a big weekend.
Just very quickly, I'm just thinking if Josh went on a bender every time he won a netball grand final, it'd be every fortnight bender.
Great success, my domestic netball team. my social netball team. I was thinking about a good reason. I feel like something like a graduation is probably a good reason. I think that's a lot of hard work over many, many years. I think that's a good reason for a celebration, a bender. I think maybe a new job, if you've been working hard at something, that's a good excuse for a bender. You guys disagree?
Well, I've been on one bender, and it was a really good excuse because it was a Bucks party and it was overseas. And it's kind of like, you're literally here in this country, in this city for a couple of days. You just, like, you've got nothing else to do. Stay out heaps late.
Yeah.
You're overseas
Nothing
in a
else to do
foreign
in that
city.
new city
No,
you've never been to.
No.
May as well do what we can do at home. Get really drunk with our friends.
No. There's
I want to get a dick drawn on my face in Rome.
Love, it's in the shape of a baguette as well, isn't it?
Is that a dick or a column?
A Corinthian dick.
Oh my God. It's more that I knew that this is more the point. I knew that I was in a city with these guys for 3 days, and it's like, yeah, we'll do some sightseeing and yeah, we'll eat some schnitzel, but it's just about partying and hanging out. And that was, for me, that was the best excuse possible.
I reckon that's a really good point you've hit on there, Dion, about it's the it can't be that often. It has to be
Yeah.
quite a rare event. And I think that's got to be, it can't happen more than like once every 2 years, I reckon, for a real big guy. Like you can't have a recurring event that's happening every year or something. It can't be like a birthday. I don't think a birthday's big enough for a bender.
Do you know what I want to know as well? I want to know, do you think that there are some cultures in the world that don't place that much emphasis on, how long it goes for, but actually go the other way and go, do you know what? I'm going to call it a night. It's been a great day. I've gotten married. I'm going to bed at 9.
But that's
It's going to be great. Get rest.
But that's what it is, isn't it? It's because we don't know what to do with ourselves after the initial celebration, that initial moment. So you say to someone, "Hey, congratulations." That's all that's really needed, right? Congratulations, that thing happened.
Yeah.
But you know that there's this air of, well, I need to spend time with this person. I guess I'll just have a drink with that.
Well, that's
what
it
was
is. Weird. I couldn't think of any time someone says there's good news or something's happened, I go, "Oh, you're going out for a few celebratory drinks."
Yeah,
That's
those are drinks.
the first thing. You're going out for some drinks. And then someone's like, "I don't drink." And I'm like, instantly, what the hell are you doing then?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you going to have friends around for board games? Are you going to the movies? And I figure it's got to be a social thing, right? You've got to do an activity with your friends.
Yep.
That I don't know what it is if you don't go to a bar though.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk about the celebration the whole night. You have to have something else there, like a dinner, like a drinks.
Oh, dinner's a good one.
But when cavemen were around, how were they celebrating? They weren't going for drinks.
They weren't. They weren't celebrating. This is the point. It's a construct, isn't it, Dion? They were getting the big kill.
Yeah.
And they were coming home and just going, big kill outside.
No, do you know what they were probably doing? I reckon they were getting the blood from the kill and having drinks.
Shucks.
All right, guys. Going to take a quick couple of minutes break. Please get your really goods into the chat. We'll be doing them very shortly. Get your really goods in. I'll be coming back to finish the show off. But thanks for sticking around on the live stream here. And we'll be seeing you very soon in a couple of minutes. Get your really goods in.
Back soon. Stick around.
really, really good? You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
We'll be with you in just a few moments. Christian, get your smile on. They still can hear us.
I'm smiling. I'm smiling as much as I can, Dion. Just to explain.
Just go for it.
We can hear it now.
Let's go.
You know what Shaylee thinks is really good? When your boss makes a spelling error. Really good.
Really
good.
Really good.
Really good.
Do you know what Bridget Jolly thinks is really good? When you're running late to meet someone, but they are too, and you both arrive at the same time. Really good. Really good. Really good.
And you know what Ellen Bradley thinks is really good? Perfecting your drinks to water ratio and minimizing the hangover.
Really good. Really good.
Really good. You know what's really, really good?
Thank you very much for listening to yet another At Home with Patchwork live YouTube show. Just a reminder that at 8 p.m. on Thursday, every second Thursday, we live stream what you can hear now. You can see our faces. You can see how unkempt Josh looks. You can see Christian's lovely hat. So remember to go to youtube.com/welcome to Patchwork. Of course, we have Instagram. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We post some fun stuff on there, so we'd like you to go and follow us. That'd be awesome. And remember, the best thing in the world you can do is tell a friend about our show. If you're enjoying it, likely that one of your friends will. And remember, if you really enjoy our show, we love our patrons. They keep us afloat like a boat on a little body of water. So go to, for as little as $2 a month, you can support us. So go to www.patreon.com/welcome to Patchwork.
Yes.
Go, John.
Also, I'd like to say Game Boys, my other comedy project, we're currently doing fortnightly streams of a new show called GB24. It's a live we got some breaking news coming in from GB24. So yeah, check that out. It's on every second Wednesday on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameBoysComedy.
So thank you to everyone on YouTube that's attended in your lovely chat. We hope to see you listening soon. But as we do every week, we sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship. Josh, what patch did you sew into your quilt this week?
Thank you, Dion. My patch this week was me superheating a Mentos in the microwave before popping it straight in the fridge. Christian, what patch did you sew this week?
Thank you, Josh. This week, I sewed into my patch me looking down at the reception desk lolly bowl filled with single lollies that have each been stored in individual quad-locked Tupperware containers. And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week is Josh coming home very early in the morning following a huge Tupperware party bender. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of Welcome to Patchwork. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.